Tula kerila kerila.
Tula mtana mtana. Asile na yesize. 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 Tula mtana mtana. Asile na yesize.
Lebitso la ka ke Ramokgoatedi. Ko khutsong ke tsebagala ya ka Oupa. Ke ANC anti-apartheid activists. Ka bo 1986 ke mo teng mone re qala ho sabalaza mo tlasa lebitso la United Democratic Front. That time ne ke sebetsa ko in Western Deep Levels, ne ke le member ya NUM, National Union of Mine Workers. Le ko teng I was an active recruiter. Ke bile member ya ANC ya SAICO, South African National Youth Congress. Ka nako ne ANC Youth League e benilwe. So ne re operate under SAICO, as I say, re operate under UDF, re operate under Khutsong Civic Association, the late Dr. Tsupe. So today, topic yaka it will revolve around Khutsong as re facitse ke the sinkholes. I prepared my notes. In the notes, I said Khutsong was established in 1957 as per proclamation government notice number 343 in terms of the Black Communities Development Act. The then Carltonville Town Council and the National Housing Committee built the first formal houses. Carltonville was originally an unplanned settlement, which was established between 1937 and 1957. In 1959, Carltonville was officially designated as a town, named after Mr. Guy Carlton Jones, a local mining engineer. The geological studies were conducted in Carltonville during those years, 1957, excluding Khutsong. It was the study was done by Dr. Volmarans of the firm Webb and Partners. Conducted the first geological survey studies in Khutsong in 1980. The study found that approximately 25 hectares of the land could be developed for residential purposes, provided that certain conditions, e.g. stormwater system, tarred road, bulk water channels, were adhered to. Webb and Partners geological report identified Khutsong as a hazardous area in July 1980. While the report found Khutsong to be unsuitable for township development, the area had already been developed to a large extent. So Webb and Partners recommended that the status quo should be maintained and no further development should be permitted within Khutsong. Successive apartheid local authorities defied the Webb and Partners recommendations. However, in May 2003, de Villiers and Cronje compiled a desktop study that affirmed the findings of the intra-consult geotech report. They agreed that the resettlement of the estimated 3,600 formal houses should be staged in phases, according to priority 1 to 4. The existing informal settlements were located in high-risk areas and should have been resettled urgently. That was de Villiers and Cronje recommendations. Cronje and Associate recommended further that the development of residential houses in Zone 3 and 4 should be suspended. A very proactive, multifaceted risk management strategy should have been applied to those areas where residential houses are located to ensure the safety of the existing community. This was part of the Cronje and de Villiers recommendation. De Villiers and Cronje Associate further agreed with intra-consult that recommendation that more detailed infill work involving supplementary drilling would permit more refined subdivision of the area. However, Council could weigh the benefit of such additional work against the advantages of securing additional geological safer land for settling the affected residents, meaning those who were in Zone 3 and 4, which were identified as high-risk area in Kutzong. De Villiers and Cronje and also strongly advised that the current communities in the affected areas of Kutzong be fully informed of the situation through a comprehensive communication program. The said program was developed and undertaken by the then mayor of Merafong City, Mr. Des van Rooyen, through ward-based community outreach meeting. Unfortunately, however, those meetings were disrupted by populist leaders who misled the community into believing that the municipality was trying to find ways for the mining industry to mine gold in Kutzong. The Merafong City local municipality executive mayors appointed after 2005 lifted the moratorium on housing development in Kutzong without any scientific background. They called a meeting whereby they told people that they can start upgrading their houses. So unfortunately, they were not backed by any scientific background. The people of Kutzong have been dealt a blow by the unjust and unfair treatment of the apartheid local authorities and our own local authorities, our own democratic local authorities. The Kutzong community was not properly consulted on the government resettlement program. Most of the residents who have been displaced by the sinkholes and resettled in Kutzong South extensions are pointing their fingers at the municipality. They complained that sinkholes were caused by either municipal sewer or water pipe leakages, which was reported to the authorities. Unfortunately, there have been no response. They further complained that the municipality aging underground infrastructure and lack of stormwater drainage and tarred roads amplify the occurrence of sinkholes. Kutzong and Kokosi, if I'm not mistaken, are the only township in Gauteng that that still have that road. Most of the township have tarred roads everywhere, especially Randfontein, Krugersdorp, Western area, Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, Tshwane. They have tarred road, all the roads. It's only Kutsong and Kokosi that are still having that road, and there's no hope that in the near future there will be tarred roads. Kutsong is not the only place in South Africa that has sinkhole occurrences that is not attended to. Centurion, Rand West, Carltonville N14 and R5 road are infested with sinkholes. However, any sinkholes that may occur at the aforementioned places is treated with the urgency it deserves. The authorities do not take the occurrence of Kutsong, the occurrence of sinkholes in Kutsong seriously. This is demonstrated by their intransigence in closing and compacting sinkholes that occurred more than 3 years ago. They are still open, those sinkholes which occurred more than 3 years ago. They have not been closed or compacted. Kutsong is vanishing in front of our eyes. Most of the residents have sentimental attachment to their original houses. They were unhappy when they were moved from those original houses to the RDP houses. And yet they were not even consulted. So I'm coming to the next. My next topic, which I've made the notes, is the 12th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2005. The ANC Stellenbosch National Conference in 2002 took a resolution to do away with cross-border municipalities. Unfortunately or fortunately, Carltonville was part of those cross-border municipalities. Carltonville falling under Gauteng Province and Fochville was falling under the administration of Northwest Provincial Government. The political decision of the ANC National Conference was then translated into government decision-making process for implementation by Black Parliament. The ANC NEC deployee, Geraldine Fraser Moeketsi, was deployed to the West Rand district to convene all ANC Merafong branches in order to convey the decision of the NEC. Geraldine Moeketsi conveyed the decision that the ANC resolved to place Merafong City under Northwest Provincial Government as per the ANC Stellenbosch National Conference resolutions. Immediately after she convened, she made a presentation. No branch delegates were afforded the opportunity to ask questions for clarities, and the meeting was adjourned. I recall vividly clear that Thabo Foten tried to ask Geraldine what informed the ANC decision, but unfortunately there was no response except being told that we know what democratic centralism means and that we should go back to our branches and implement the ANC decision. Things turned ugly and volatile by the time we arrived back to Kutsong. Rumors were already spreading like a wildfire that we, councillors of that time, 2005, sold out the people of Kutsong to the Northwest Provincial Government. The decision of the ANC had devastating effects in the community of Kutsong. The community directed their wrath and anger by attacking and destroying 41 houses belonging to ANC councillors and municipal officials. The community of Kutsong was divided into two groups: those who were aligning with the decision of the ANC, and those as loyal members of the ANC, and those local ANC members who were opposing it. There was no one from the ANC national or regional to explain to the community as to what informed the ANC decision to incorporate Merafong into Northwest. The poor ANC councillors were left to fend for themselves. The constitution of our country requires that all spheres of government should embark on extensive consultations before any policy amendment or initiation. The Gauteng provincial government in 2009 initiated peace and reconciliation programs through Reverend Gift Moerane, but unfortunately, those peace attempts only benefited the perpetrators of violence, in the sense that they were all released from prisons as per negotiations a deal with the Department of Correctional Services, and their criminal record were erased. But most unfortunately, the 10 displaced families are still displaced even to this day. The Kutsong displaced families sought restoration assistance from the President of South Africa and the Premier of Gauteng, but most unfortunately we couldn't get any sympathy or empathy. We are still yearning for restorative justice, equal treatment, social justice, which are and have been the epitome and epicenter of the ANC primary objective.